Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and as always we'd like to give our shout out to our patrons. We appreciate all the tips and support. Just going to go towards making the channel better and adding more games. Hopefully we'll get a chance to add roulette at some point this year. If you're curious about it, go ahead and check the description of the video, and I do hope our patrons are enjoying the weekly exclusive videos that we are putting out for them. If you have any strategies of your own that you would like us to analyze, or if you have any questions, or just something in general that you would like us to film, please email us at sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. So, for today, what am I going to go over? I want to go over another real-world situation, another player that I have dealt to, and this one I dealt to just a few days ago. He had an interesting strategy. I'd never seen this one before. I've seen variations of it before. Oftentimes, though, the variations of it are kind of standard. I tend to see the same strategies over and over and over again. This player, this was the first time that I've seen this particular strategy. I didn't have an opportunity to ask him exactly how he came up with it or why he plays the way he does, but he was very, very consistent with it, so it was clearly a strategy that he had thought out. So, this is how it works. Once there was a point, he would not play the pass line bet. He would wait for the come out roll. Now, once there was a point, and now let's say the point is 5. If the point is 4, 5, or 10, he would do the inside. Or not the inside, he would do the 6, 8, 9. If the point was 4, he would do the 6, 8, 9. Always 6, 8, 9. I wanted to set it up right here because that's the spot that he was in when he was playing it, but I'll set it up front so it's easier for you guys to see. So he would set this bet up. He would do an $85 action on the 6, 8, 9. Now keep in mind too, he was on a $10 table, so this is actually part of his strategy. Obviously you could pare this down if you wanted to play the strategy but wanted to pare it down to a lower limit, because pretty much everything was extremely consistent. Because with these bets, every single one of these bets pays you $35. Right? So he would do a $35 don't come. $35 don't come bet, which is betting against the next roll of the dice. It's like starting a brand new game from the don't passes if the puck were off. Now, if it landed behind any of these numbers, he would take his payout, and then he would take that number down, regardless of which one it is. If it landed on any other number, he would just take his payout and leave it alone. He would take 2 same bets, and then he would take his bets down. So he would get paid a total of $70, and then he would take his bets down. So now at this point, his initial outlay was $85, and he's got the $70 right here. If a 7 out occurs, he's going to get paid, doesn't matter what the point is because that's a flat bet, he's going to get paid another $35. So he would be up $105. $105 profit. Obviously, there's a lot of variables to go into play here. What if it doesn't get the 2 hits? What if you only get 1 hit and then a 7 out? Well, if you get 1 hit and then a 7 out, you will have lost your $85 here, but you will have made $70 between whichever one hit and then your don't come. So you're down $15. That's not terrible. What if it lands on the point that you go behind? Yeah, that sucks. You take a hit there. That's definitely going to hurt. What is the big danger point for this strategy? This point right here. This point right here is the big danger point for the strategy. This is what will kill the player. And this actually is what killed the player when I was dealing to him. Because this happened to him 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row, and it wiped out the profit that he had made up to this point. Because this was actually successful at first. Obviously, like any other strategy, it's got its strengths, it's got its weaknesses. No strategy is perfect. There is no such thing as a win every time strategy. If anybody tells you that, they don't know what they're talking about. There's some strategies that, of course, have different strengths, but it all is going to rely on the dice. The dice, how cold the table is or how hot the table is, depending on which side you're playing on, and just how the dice land. I know some players that only play, say, 3 numbers. They just pick a random 3 numbers. So they could be part of a 20-minute roll and barely make anything. It happens. We had one today where we had 9 6s roll. 9 6s. It was absolutely fantastic. A couple of people that weren't on the 6. So the guy that was on the 6 made a ton of money. Everyone else didn't make much. This right here, though, this is the crippling point. Because if a 7 comes out on the second roll, first roll establishes the point. Second roll, a 7 comes out, they lose it all. They lose their 35 here, and they lose their 85 here. That's a really, really big hit. That's a $120 hit that you take all at once. Now, if the rest of this works out to its ideal, then you'll make it back within 2 shooters. Because again, if things work out to the ideal, you make $105 in profit. So that will override a $120 loss. Unfortunately, like I said, this player took that $120 loss 3 times in a row. Boom, boom, boom. He wasn't broke because he started with a decent-sized bankroll and he'd won a bunch up to that point. But that hurt. That hurt. That definitely left a mark that he was not going to recover from anytime soon. So he ended up leaving and going somewhere else. So this is the standard layout for his bet. Now, what would happen if the point was one of the other numbers? Did he still do, or one of the numbers he bets, did he still do these and include the point? No. No, he did not. I thought he was going to, but in reality, he did not. If the point ends up being one of these 3 numbers, he just does a standard inside bet. That's the only time that he includes the 5. He will not choose the 5 if he is able to do the 6, 8, 9. So if the point is 4, 5, or 10, he would do the 6, 8, 9. If the point was 10, 6, 8, 9. He would not do the 5. He would only do the 5 if the point happened to be one of these numbers. The other thing that I thought was interesting with him, since he was betting those inside numbers, go back to his standard bet, I expected that if it traveled to one of those numbers, he was going to say no action and we were just going to leave him up. That was my expectation. That was my assumption, because I thought that he was counting on these numbers to make his money and that this would be his hedge if it landed on one of the other 3. But in reality, he went ahead and took it wherever it landed. So he did understand that the odds favored him regardless of what point it landed on. But it was an odd decision until I realized that he was only taking 2 hits. He was taking 2 hits and then taking these bets down. 1 hit if this actually traveled behind it. One time I saw him move actually to the 5. The point was either 4 or 10, I don't remember, and the don't come traveled behind one of these numbers, and he moved it to the 5 after he took his payout. But I only saw him do that once. Most of the time he would just take it down, which, if you think about it, is not a terrible idea. There are definitely strategies that are designed on taking every bet down as you go. Because you take your profit and you minimize your risk. You minimize your outlay, kind of dollar cost averaging everything. So it's not terrible to just take it down also. Definitely whatever you are comfortable with. I'm not 100% certain I would play this strategy. Haven't put too much thought into exactly why he bets the way he bets and how he came up with this, but it was an interesting strategy. And again, real world player. I like to show you guys real world player strategies. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you find it illuminating, or at least interesting. And please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We will catch you guys next time. Bye now.